Back to school, September, the dreaded month of where you go back to school. The summer is over. Now it's time for early get-ups and having to ask permission to go to the toilet. If you're going back to school or anything related, make sure to subscribe. You'll love the relatable content. Let's go. First of all, you have the prep during the last week of August. The 6 weeks holiday may as well be called the 5 weeks holiday, since the last week is all wasted on getting prepped for school. You'll be scurrying around the shops with your parents last minute getting pens, pencils and other equipment needed because you either lost most of it or was kind enough to lend people pens at school and would never see them back again. That was my biggest pet peeve, because I'd never get a pen back unless I grabbed them before the end of class. The stationery always racked up, and by the end of the day you'd spent like 50 quid on stationery, which was mental. Truly grateful to my mum for sorting this out, but god it was expensive. You also had to have that scientific calculator as well, which was mega bucks. Another part of the prep was buying uniform, because you'd split your trousers and destroyed your shoes in football on the last day. It was so long going uniform shopping, especially shoe shopping, because you had to try and find some that would actually look alright, but also a pair that wouldn't be giving you blisters on the first day back. And it was the worst when you found the right shoes and on the first day back, the teachers would have beef with them saying, those are trainers, not shoes. I actually hated uniform shopping because it's not like I was choosing to wear these clothes. Another thing during the build up towards back to school was the homework due in for the first day. I think this was more the higher years or in sixth form where you knew you'd have the same teachers again, but the teachers would be deluded enough to set your homework for the summer holidays. You told yourself you'd do it right at the start of the holidays to get it out of the way, but did you? Absolutely not. You'd remember it like 2 days before you went back and would have to somehow cram loads of work in 2 days. It was actually so horrible and stressful. Why did these teachers think it was funny to do this? A funny thing that we all definitely did was having the delusion that we'd glow up during the summer and you'd come back looking unrecognisable. Maybe exercising to lose weight or lifting some dumbbells to look a little bit muscly, but in reality you'd come back looking the exact same, just more tired. Once all the prep is done, it's time for the first day back. To be fair, I didn't actually mind the first day back, because it hadn't properly set in that you were going to be stuck there for another year. The first day didn't really feel like a proper day. It was all about getting your timetables, meeting your new teachers and classmates and that. It was pretty chill, not going to lie. What was crazy though is you'd be catching up with some of your mates because somehow you didn't see or speak to them once during the 6 weeks off. And suddenly you'd go back like your best mates. That dynamic was really weird. But once you'd been back to school for a few days, the sunshine and rainbows disappeared and every teacher was setting you homework for the same day and it was just pure pain. You'd be googling how to drop out of school at 14 by lunchtime. With the new year came new teachers, and it felt like the lottery. Who would you end up with? The one who thinks you're a comedian? The scary one who made the class dead silent just by walking in? Or the one that everyone knows is going to be walked all over by October? Waiting to find out who your teachers were was both exciting and terrifying. Waiting to see which classes you'd be wanting to die in, and the classes you knew that would be jokes. Also, with every year came a new set of year 7s, and every September they'd arrive in massive blazers that look like parachutes, carrying suitcases like they're going on holiday, and walking in single file lines because they don't know the layout yet. They would all be going around the school clueless, and they'd show up to the wrong classroom too, like, "Miss, is this geography?" "No mate, this is maths and you're 3 floors off." But I get it, I was there once. With every new set of year 7s came a cocky set of year 8s who had already done a year at the school, and now they thought they owned the place. They'd be running around the school causing chaos for the teachers, and also trying to annoy the older kids by saying proper out-of-pocket things. But I'm sure the year 11s sorted them out when they tried to be cocky towards them. I actually could not stand these kids. And don't get me started on the lunch queue chaos. The first week back, you'd have 30 minutes for lunch, but the queue would go on for 40 just for pizza and chips. Somehow there was always that one mate who would skip the queue and actually made out alive with food. When you finally got to the front, you were starving after all that waiting, so you'd get a decent amount of food and inevitably realise that the £10 top up your mum gave you was not lasting long. And don't lie, you defo spent the last 50p on a cookie instead of water and then complained about being dehydrated in PE. So yeah, back to school again. Good luck surviving September. May your pens last more than a week and your blazers not look like tents. If this gave you PTSD or nostalgia, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next Sunday.